Hey everybody, this is video help for special right triangles. And so this is just to help you through Edgenuity. We're going to go over a couple problems. There's two right triangles that you have to know. One is easy to memorize, one is a little bit harder. The first one's a 45-45 90-degree triangle. And since these two angles are the same, then the two opposite legs are the same. So whatever side this is, this would be the same. And then the hypotenuse is just that value times the square root of 2. Okay. The second one is a 30-60-90 triangle. And so there's a couple different ways this is shown when you look it up on Google. But let's say this is the hypotenuse, whatever value this is. The leg opposite the 30 degrees is half of the hypotenuse. Okay, so this side is always half of the hypotenuse. This side, the 60-degree side, or the side opposite 60 degrees, is the hypotenuse times the square root of 3 divided by 2. So it's half the hypotenuse times square root of 3. Okay, so it's this times square root of 3. Or you can say that the hypotenuse is double the short side. There's a lot of different ways you can say it. All right, let's try a few problems. Here we have a triangle, and it looks like it's part of a square. It's just a diagonal cut out of a square. Well, what you know about square, and it's already marked for you, is that all the sides are congruent. So obviously this is 30, this is 30, this is 30. It looks like we're only dealing with this triangle here, but as you can see, these two are the same sides. And what is this length? Well, you get it from Pythagorean theorem. You know, you can do 30 squared plus 30 squared equals c squared, and it's going to be 30 square root 2. So it's just, again, it's this side times the square root of 2. So 30 root 2. So it says, Jules owns a square plot of land that measures 30 yards on each side. He plans to divide the land in half by building a fence. As shown by the dotted line below, how many yards will the fence be? So how long is this? This is 30 root 2. So this would be your answer. All right, now we have a 30, 60, 90, and this is the famous trig problem of how high is this. Obviously, you can measure this distance here, but you can't measure this distance. We know that this is 30 degrees, so what does this have to be? This has to be 60. And, 30 plus 60 plus 90 equals 180, so it's got to add up to 180. And basically, you're going to solve this triangle, okay? So you can see what we have this length. We have the hypotenuse times root 3 over 2. And so it might be easier to find the hypotenuse. And so the way I would do it is I would say the hypotenuse times root 3 divided by 2 is equal to 36. Okay, so that value, if you multiply it by root 3 and divide it by 2, you would get 36. To solve, just multiply by 2. So the hypotenuse times root 3 equals 72. Divide both sides by root 3. And the hypotenuse is equal to 72 over root 3. All right, this is the value of the length, but there's a rule, and the rule says you cannot have a radical in the denominator. So no radicals in denominator. Okay, how do we get rid of this? We're going to multiply the top and bottom by root 3. That's going to give us the same value. This is the same thing as multiplying by 1. So this will be root 3 times root 3 will be 3. It's the same thing like square root of 9. Square root of 9 is 3. And this is going to be 72 over root 3. And then 72 divided by 3 is 24. So this side is 24 root 3. Okay. Going back to here, the short leg is half of the hypotenuse. So we're going to take the hypotenuse and divide it by 2. So 24 root 3 divided by 2 is equal to 12 root 3. So this is 12 root 3. And the question says, what is the height of the pole? So this is the height of the pole right here, and it's going to be 12 root 3. And I think there's one more. Wall in Maria's bedroom is the shape of a trapezoid. The wall can be divided into a rectangle and a triangle. This is why you study trig, because every single polygon can be broken up into triangles. So it's 45, so this has to be 45. And this is the hypotenuse. So if you remember, the hypotenuse is the legs times root 2. So it's just without the root 2. And it says, using this theorem, find the value of the height of the wall. And that height right there is 13. Their answer is 13. Okay, hope this helps.